Greetings everyone, my name is Kurt. How you doing? Doing alright. As a lover of video games, comics, and movies, and all the pop culture jazz, it's assumable or it's expected that when you love those things that in most cases you're a collector. You like to collect crap, you like to have like the second edition bubblegum wrapper of Godzilla 1999 distributed by Taco Bell, not because you like the film, but because you like Godzilla, and even if the film was absolute shit, you feel the obligation that you need to have everything that has to do with it, so you have that gum wrapper. But contrary to my interests in video games and comics, I really am not that much of a collector. In fact, I would go so far to say that I'm maybe even a minimalist in a lot of things, in a lot of ways. I really prefer not to own that much. So, I mean, like, there's a few things I have, like a few prized possessions. Like, this is one of them. I don't know if that's in focus. If that's in focus, if you can even hear me. Signed copy of Grim Fandango from Tim Schafer himself. I made a complete fucking ass on myself trying to talk to him. I was trying to give him this, like, Eddie Murphy once said this thing about being a celebrity is like having people sing happy birthday to you constantly. It's kind of embarrassing. And I tried saying that to Tim, being like, hey, I'm one of those fans, and I'm sure it's like singing happy birthday to you, and it just didn't make any sense. However, I have it. He signed it. This is Jackie Chan's Stunt Master for the PlayStation 1. This is a prized possession. This is something I dearly love. That's about it for all I care to hold on to. I have these things because, one, Grim Fandango is my favorite game of all time. Two, I wanted to be Jackie Chan when I was a kid, more than anything on the planet. But I kind of wanted to use this as an opportunity to pick the brain of somebody who does have a collection, who does have a bunch of stuff, even almost on the borderline hoarder thing, like the thin line between being a hoarder and a collector. My close friend Brandon is kind of, he's one of them. He has a lot of crap, and sometimes I don't even know why he has half of it. It's like, oh, well, this copy of Gladiator has a slipcover. Their DVD copy didn't have a slipcover, so now I have to own it. In most cases, most of what he owns is still in its plastic. It's remarkable. But I'm not here to make fun of him, and I used to make fun of him a lot for it, but I kind of want to learn and see why it's a thing. Something I've found with collectors too is that, like myself, who doesn't own that much, I have a philosophy behind why I don't have that much. And in many cases, collectors have philosophies behind why they have what they have. Sometimes it's just for the sake of collecting and having crap, or the stuff has value, or in most cases, or it just comes down to somebody really enjoying that thing and wanting to have as much of it as they can. So I get that. But I don't feel like we get to see the philosophy that often. I don't feel like we get to hear the story behind these things, why people actually have this stuff. And so I wanted to do that. And there is a story to tell. There's always a story somewhere in something. So I asked my friend Brandon if I could film, if I could talk to him, and he let me do it. So here we are. I went to my friend Brandon's house, and skibbity bop, shoo wop wop. No, yeah, give me a hug.
Hello.
Hi. Hey.
These are the Blizzard blind boxes that I got from work. I work at a well-known chain video game establishment and get discounts on things, and it tends to fuel my collection. It's a collection of Fallout stuff that I've gotten throughout the years. Some of it from being in the right place at the right time, getting collector's editions of the games.
This is crooked. It is crooked, isn't it?
Still a lot of stuff that I've bought throughout my years and found either eBay or Amazon, or bought from work, or got from friends, or gifts and things like that.
Yeah, we gotta fit in. Here we are. See? So how long have we known each other?
Since you were
10 years. Yeah, we worked together in a movie theater.
Yep.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. Hot skibbity shit! I used to say you were a hoarder.
You probably still could. That's Cool Cat and Randy from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Those are a couple of the only toys that I still have left over from when I was a kid, and had the entire Pee-wee's Playhouse playset.
Do you know offhand how many pop figures you have?
Probably about 100, maybe a little bit more.
I'm not that much of a collector.
Fair enough.
And but that's been a conscious choice throughout my life because I used to collect, and it wasn't like a goal, like I need to collect stuff. I just think with our hobbies, with video games and movies and even music and art, it just comes with this need to immerse yourself in the things you love. It's the same as any hobby. But
I think those two cultures can bring each other together in ways that maybe people don't necessarily understand. So, having known you for as long as I've known you, I know you're a huge fan of Twin Peaks. And through my employment at GameStop, which now owns Think Geek, we are in the unique position to see other ends of geek culture. And through that, I have seen so much new Twin Peaks stuff coming into my store. And it genuinely sparks something in my brain that makes me say, you know what? I have to call Kurt. I have to send him a picture. I have to talk to him about this.
It's true.
It's bringing people and cultures together that a guy liking a TV show from the early 90s.
Yeah, 90.
Doesn't necessarily think they're going to have such an in-depth conversation or need to be that close in contact to a guy who runs a video game store. It doesn't seem like they're two worlds that would collide, but
so you're saying that the act in collecting, regardless of what the medium is that it's based off of,
you will meet people,
cultivates,
and you will bridge those kinds of relationships you never would have thought before. I love Stephen King. Puts out stuff every single year, even though he retired a couple years ago. He writes for the passion. It's not just pumping it out to fill a contract.
How long would you say you've been collecting? Is it a whole life thing, or was there a moment when you knew that you wanted to start building a room, like a place for it?
I can tell the start of when I was turned on to the idea of collecting things, and it was DVDs. My very first DVD that sparked this out of control spending habit.
Legally Blonde.
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
That's
okay. What's the one thing you will never depart with?
The one thing, my crown jewel, my prized possession, the one thing I will never, ever get rid of, even if it were worth $1 million. I have a signed, personalized Stephen King book that came to me in a time in my life where it was actually quite beneficial. I just recovered from brain surgery, and I had gone down to New York City to watch him speak. He was signing books there. People bought them all up, they snatched them all up, they put them online for a ridiculous fee. My parents were pissed. They had brought me down there to, hey, you didn't die. This is a good thing. Let's celebrate. Your favorite author is less than 6 hours away. We're going to drive down there, we're going to make a weekend of it. We're going to get you something nice. People snatched them all up as far as the eye could see, trying to sell them for like $1,000 in the parking lot. And here I am, some teenage kid who's scarred from stem to stern, just there to see his favorite dude talk. Missed out on the book. Parents were pissed, they wrote him a letter. A week before my birthday, he read my parents' letter, saying, hey, we brought our son who recovered after this massive brain tumor. It's fine. We brought him down to see you. He was standing in line and gone. This really sucks. This was, this kid's treat for, not dying. Book shows up, to Brandon, all the best, from Stephen King.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, it was actually signed by Michael Whalen, too, another artist that I got to meet who signed that very poster behind your head. And all the best, Stephen King, 11/3/04.
God!
9 days before my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. I will never part with that.
Hey, man.
It means too much. It has a story. That is something I can tell. That is meaningful to me. It was a gift not only from him, but from my parents. I've got history with it,
So, get a brain tumor.
Get a brain tumor, almost die, your favorite author will write you back.
High five.
Lesson in
That's
life.
fucking sweet.
Lesson in life, right
Can you
there.
show me the book?
Yeah.
Go get it. Oh.